On her first day as a second-year student at the Tristane Academy for Magicians, Louise de la Valliere enters a magical world called Halcogenia. Her teacher asks her to perform a simple spell, turn pebbles into brass. Despite her peers calling her zero, the room explodes as soon as she casts the spell. Despite coming from a family of famous magicians, Louise has a 0% success rate when it comes to casting spells. Kirch summons a fire salamander on the day of the traditional summoning ceremony. Gitch summons a large mole named Verdandi, but Louise summons a human named Sato Haraga from Tokyo, who is unable to comprehend what Louise is saying. Louise is disappointed, but she is unable to break the ritual's tradition, so she kisses Sato, and runes appear on his left hand. Louise uses a silence spell to silence him, but it backfires, allowing Sato to speak and understand Louise's language. Sato believes he has been kidnapped until he notices the two moons in the sky and realizes he has been transported to another world. Sato now has to deal with being Louise's personal assistant, and he is frequently whipped for disobedience. Sato dresses Louise in the morning before they go to breakfast, where Sato only gets a piece of bread and meets Siesta, a kind maid. Sato, dissatisfied with Noble's arrogance, mocks Gitch's two-timing nature, prompting Gitch to challenge him to a duel. Sato refuses to give up despite being severely beaten by Gitch's summoned brass golem. Gitch, impressed, throws him a sword to give him a chance. When Sato touches the sword, the runes etched on his hand begin to glow, enhancing his strength and speed as well as giving him sword skills, and he easily defeats Gitch. After the fight, however, he collapses from exhaustion. Mr. Colbert and Mr. Osmond, the headmaster, believe Sato is a legendary familiar. After defeating Gitch, Sato gained popularity among commoners and nobles. Siesta and the commoners secretly feed Sato while Louise withholds food as his new punishment. His name is changed to Zero. Kirch, a German noble, has chosen him as her next boyfriend. She tries to seduce him, but Louise discovers it. Louise drags Sato to town to buy him a sword. Louise's gift is matched by Kirch's gift, causing more friction between Sato and Louise. Louise's sword turns out to be Derflinger, the talking sword. Osmond continues to harass Longville. Count Mott forces Siesta to be his mistress. Sato, disgusted by Noble's disregard for commoners, tries to save her. They make a deal where Count Mott asks for a particular family heirloom book from a Germania family, which happens to be Kirch's family. In response, Kirch suggests he date Sato. Sato tries to fight Count Mott with Kirch's expensive sword, but the runes don't work because it's an ornamental sword, and he struggles to lift it. Louise and the others arrive just in time to save Sato. In exchange for Siesta's freedom and forgiving Sato's offense, Kirch gives Count Mott the book. Sato catches a glimpse of the heirloom book and discovers it is an old Japanese porn magazine. After they return to the academy, Siesta thanks Sato with a cheek kiss. Louise is depressed about the upcoming exhibition of new familiars. Also, this year the Princess of Tristane will be present, which makes the event even more important. As night falls, Sato becomes desperate to perform a commendable act. Princess Henrietta appears in Louise's room and explains that she and Louise are childhood friends. Louise drags Sato off stage the next day after a weak sword-swinging demonstration. They see Fauke the sculptor use an earth golem to break into the school's treasure vault. Louise uses her magic to stop her, but her blast misses the golem and hits the tower wall, allowing access to the vault. Tabitha and her dragon Sylphid arrive too late to stop Fauke from stealing the fabled Staff of Destruction. For fear of being blamed for Fauke's theft, Louise offers to go after her. Kirch and Tabitha also help. They are escorted by Longo to the last sighting of Fauke. Tabitha finds the Staff of Destruction hidden in an empty house with Kirch and Sato. Outside, Louise uses spells to fight the golem but fails. Sato rushes in to save her as she is crushed. Louise sobs, her confidence shattered. As Sylphid rescues the nobles, Sato is moved and attacks the golem. The golem breaks Kirch's sword. Derflinger uses Sato. Sato redraws Derflinger, his runes glowing. He can slash the golem's legs, but they regenerate. Louise tries to help with the Staff of Destruction, which Sato recognizes as an M72 rocket launcher and destroys with his rune-enabled abilities. Lonville then claims the staff and reveals herself to be Fauke all along. She created the scenario to learn the staff. She uses the staff to kill the students, but the rocket launchers are single-use weapons. Sato beats Fauke, a man from another world, used one of two staffs to save Osmond 30 years prior. Osmond buried the man and kept the rest of the staff. The school throws a party. Louise thanks Sato for saving her by dancing. Louise has captured Fauke, Henrietta says. She extends her hand to Sato, but he misunderstands and kisses her. Henrietta assigns Louise and Sato to go undercover to see if nobles are exploiting commoners. Louise foolishly loses all their money in a casino, where she expected to win more. Refusing to ask Henrietta for more money, Sato and Louise find work at Scarron and Jessica's charming fairy inn. As a dishwasher, Sato is in close contact with Jessica, much to Louise's chagrin. Scarron rewards the waitresses who receive the most tips with a large bonus and the chance to dress up as a maid. Louise's temper prevents her from earning tips until an arrogant noble enters. The noble leaves a large bribe for Louise, allowing her to win the contest. They have to leave now, but Louise dresses up as his maid just for him. Summer vacation means many students are returning home. Kirch follows Tabitha home. Louise and Sato are finally alone. Tabitha's real name is Charlotte, Princess of Gallia, and she has a tragic past involving her mother drinking a psychoactive potion. Montmorency, enraged that Gitch has been flirting with other girls, makes a aphrodisiac and slips it into Gitch's drink. Sato transforms a large cooking pot destined for the trash into a Japanese-style hot tub at night. Siesta joins Sato in the tub, much to his embarrassment. Louise sees them together and becomes enraged, interrupting Gitch and Montmorency, accidentally drinking the love potion. Louise is flustered when Sato returns to her room and falls in love with him. Louise's lovey-dovey behavior towards Sato freaks him out. Sato begs Montmorency to create an antidote, but she refuses until he blackmails her. To find the antidote, Montmorency and Gitch lead Sato and Louise to Lagdorian Lake, where they meet the water spirit, who is flooding the land to search for her stolen treasure, but is being hindered by magic users. Sato and Gitch fight the intruders, who turn out to be Kirch and Tabitha. Sato swears to find the water spirit's lost items, and he is given the antidote by the spirit of Gandalfur. The love potion's caretaker, Louise and Sato, have a new mission. Princess Henrietta will marry the Emperor of Germania to strengthen her country's alliance. Without a letter from Henrietta to Prince Wales of Albion, the wedding will be cancelled. Albion is in a state of civil war, so the princess cannot see the prince. Gitch overhears the conversation and offers to help Henrietta, much to Louise and Sato's chagrin. Wards, captain of the Griffin Squadron, arrives the day before they leave. Louise's fiancé, he makes Sato jealous. In the end, Derflinger tells Sato that only Gandalfers can wield Derflinger. Wards proposes to Louise and then challenges Sato to a duel. Wards easily wins, leaving Sato depressed. Louise and Wards board the ship that evening after he persuades her that the boys have returned home. Louise accepts his proposal after he persists in his courtship. The sudden appearance of Fauke and her golem has, in fact, caused Gitch and Sato to be delayed. Kirch and Tabitha, who appeared on Sylphid, save them. Sato discovers that Wards and Fauke were working together, putting Louise in danger. Wards and Louise arrive on the floating continent of Albion, where they meet Prince Wales. Louise delivers the letter, then Wales gives her a reply letter that she is supposed to retrieve, and she learns of the power behind the Reconquista, an uprising of nobles in Albion. With their mission ostensibly completed, Wards insists On marrying them in Albion, he reveals himself to be a Reconquista member and a threat to Wales. Louise tries to refuse, but one of Ward's allies, Cromwell, arrives with the stolen water spirit's ring and uses mind control to force her to consent. When Sato bursts into the church and snaps Louise out of her trance, the wedding is ruined and Ward kills Wales and attempts to kill Sato. However, Sato is enraged by Ward's treatment of Louise, and he is able to fully utilize Durflinger and his abilities as Gandalfer. Ward's magic is defeated and he flees. Tabitha and the others save the two of them, and Sylphid flies everyone home. Sato kisses Louise while holding her in his arms. The princess wedding is cancelled after Louise informs Henrietta of Wales' death. Osmond is also warned about the Reconquista by Louise. Then Osmond tells her about Gandalfer and void magic. Sato accompanies Siesta to her home village of Talbs to find a dragon after another argument with Louise. Following them, Louise and others discover the rare dragon that Siesta's family has kept as an heirloom. Sato comes across a tombstone with a Japanese epitaph. An A6M0 fighter, a Japanese aircraft, is revealed to be the dragon. It is revealed that Siesta's great-grandfather was a World War II IJN pilot who, like Sato, was magically transported to Halkaginia. Colbert explains that during a solar eclipse, 2 dragons flew, but one vanished. He claims that the second pilot's timing was off and that the solar eclipse ended before he could fly through the portal. Albion declares war on Tristane as they return to school, intending to use the country as a base from which to conquer the rest of the continent. They plan to attack in 3 days during the next solar eclipse. When Sato tells Louise that he wants to return home during the upcoming solar eclipse, she acts as if she doesn't care, which enrages him. Albion and Tristane are rumored to be on the verge of a war. Henrietta gathers a military force and conscripts the Academy's boys. When Louise walks in on a sleeping Sato, she says her goodbyes. Sato wakes up the next morning to find a letter written by Louise: "You've been fired. You are free to go wherever you want." Louise makes the decision to fight alongside the princess in the war. Henrietta advances with the Tristane military to intercept the invading Albion force at the village of Talbs. While Sato gets in his Zero fighter, Sato attacks Albion's dragon squadrons, who are unable to keep up with the plane's speed. Rather than flying straight into the eclipse, when Sato's bullets run out, he is attacked by Ward's, who is riding a wind dragon. From Sylphid to Sato's plane, Louise leaps. Falke's golem is broken down by Tabitha, Kirch, and Gitch, and Falke flees for good. Louise finally connects with Sato and unlocks her void magic for the first time, casting the powerful spell Explosion, which destroys Albion's entire aerial force. After the battle, with the solar eclipse behind them and the Zero fighter on the verge of being destroyed, Sato and Louise sit by the wreckage and have another argument before kissing. Cromwell tries to use the Ring of Andivari to hypnotize Kirch and Tabitha, but Gitch knocks him out.